Freddie finally decided that he wanted to live in New York. The apartment had been purchased because Freddie needed a base in America. He had been spending quite a lot of time there while recording, touring and enjoying himself, and the other members of the band had homes in LA. There was never any doubt that if Freddie had a home in America, it would be anywhere other than New York. He didn't like the Los Angeles feel. Everything so laid back you almost fell over. Not that Freddie was too averse to falling over. In New York, he had a friend in Jerry Stickel's wife, Sylvia. When he first thought of buying a place, she very kindly offered to have a look around at various properties for him. Up to this point, Freddie had spent all of his time in New York in various hotels. The first one I remember staying in was the Waldorf Astoria Towers. He then took up residence in the Berkshire Place Hotel on East 52nd Street. Another was the Helmsley Palace. After discussions with Jim Beach and John Lipson, Freddie decided that he was spending far too much money staying in hotels and he would be a lot better off if he had his own place. It must be remembered that these hotels were costing him $1,000 at night, and that was just for the beds for him and me. Sylvia Stickles researched probably 100 apartments in different areas of the city, including number 1 Fifth Avenue, an amazing loft in the Soho district. And I even looked at spaces in apartment buildings that were yet to be completed. Of Sylvia's 100, I was dispatched to look at 25, and Freddie himself checked out around 10 of these. What Freddie was looking at in the building at 1 Fifth Avenue was in fact 2 apartments, which would have had to have been knocked together to provide the required space. This was on the 3rd or 4th floor, which Freddie wasn't too happy with, and, added to this, the inconvenience of the construction work deterred him. The Soho Loft space sticks in my mind for the circular wood-paneled room with the glass-domed ceiling. It was the main feature of the property, but none of us could come up with a definite purpose for the room beneath it. The nearest we came was to make it a bedroom, but it would have wasted the paneling, and the problem of making the room dark in the morning would have been very, very difficult to overcome. Eventually, the agent came up with the Sovereign building. This huge construction at 425 East 58th Street between First Avenue and Sutton Place. The building is designed in such a way that in certain apartments there were almost unrestricted views of the city. There were 48 floors and Freddie's apartment was on the 43rd. Imagine not being able to see the ground because of the clouds. The apartment was about the same size as Freddie's 2-floored flat in Stafford Terrace. There, the sitting room and dining room were knocked through into one huge room. The same could almost be said for the New York apartments. On the north side of the apartment, there was a balcony which overlooked the 59th Street Bridge, immortalized in the song of the same name by Simon and Garfunkel. Other than the apartment itself, one of the features which impressed Freddie was the building staff and their organization. There were doormen, concierges, and security staff, which alleviated any worries he might have had concerning his own security. Even though New York is known for the violence on its streets, being on the streets never worried Freddie, despite the sad demise of peers such as John Lennon. I don't know exactly what made him decide on the New York apartment he finally chose. The views from his bedroom were certainly stunning. On a good day, you could see as far as the suspension bridge across the Verrazzano Narrows, a view which included one of Freddie's favorite buildings, the Chrysler, and also the Empire State and the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. We were surprised at the continual changes of the lighting setup on the Empire State Building, which reflected the various public holidays, such as green for St. Patrick's Day, red, white and blue for July 4th. And one thing that Freddie was very proud of, after he had been told, was that 7 bridges could be seen from the apartment. He was really excited during the celebrations for the 100th anniversary of the Brooklyn Bridge, which we watched simultaneously both from the corner window in his bedroom and, once removed, on the television. The apartment had belonged to a senator or congressman by the name of Gray, and Freddie actually purchased the place from his widow. Gray had been his name, and indeed grey was the predominant colour in the apartment's decor. 4 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms and a den, particularly the den which was decorated in grey pinstripe men's suiting fabric. There was a mirrored and closeted bedroom at the hub and a dining room with walls covered in civil grey satin. But Freddie never wanted to nest here. The place remained virtually unchanged from the day he bought it until the day he left, and he left it without a backward glance, never to return.